Hey, you guys. Funky like feathers here. Tonight, we're going to be getting some writing done. So, we're doing some word sprints and everything today. Oh, pardon me. I hope everybody's having a good start to Nano because NaNoWriMo can be absolutely insane. So, I am so glad that you guys are here to help me get my writing goals done too. Because, I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things when it comes to Nano is having groups of people like that you can actually interact with. So yeah, let me know who all's here because I love hearing from you guys, seeing who all's in the chat with me. I am sticking to my hello, Rubina. I am sticking to my iPad for writing. So I just kind of like carry this thing around with me. And I took it to a coffee shop this morning. That was handy. And then I always have to remember where the program is. Hello, Miss Maria. So let's see here. Like, how are you guys doing so far with Nano as a whole? Like, are you feeling like you're in the groove? Are you not feeling like you're in the groove? I think it's, I don't know. This year feels kind of strange. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. But I've got like 1,000 things in my head knocking around there. So, which happens every November. Why is that? Why is it when like I sit down and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work on my story, and then my brain's like, no, you're not. We have other stuff we need to process. Well, it's frustrating. All right, what does everybody have to drink? Because you have to get our setup right. So I know this looks awkward. If you can't see it, it's like a yellowish color. My kid thought that I was drinking something that nobody should drink. But actually, this is spearmint tea and green tea with coconut. So I steeped the tea and then I just added it to a big jar of ice and added just a little bit of sugar in the raw. So I have PCOS, so I'm supposed to drink spearmint tea, and it is not enjoyable to drink mint. In case you haven't ever tried that. Not enjoyable. Yeah. So let's see. All right, Maria's got lemonade. Sweet. No pun intended, but sweet. Rubina, I feel like this year is going to be harder. So many things going on right now. Girl, ain't that the truth? I cannot agree more. I feel like there are 1,000 things going on, and my head is just everywhere. So yeah, and then there's like these personal goals of things you have going on, not to mention, of course, Thanksgiving and Maria's birthday is this year on the same day. So that's gonna be fun. But like I was looking at my Goodreads, right? Because obviously I read a little bit. And I've read more than 80 books so far this year. And so then I'm sitting there going, well, I mean, my original goal was 50, right? Was to read 50 books because usually I teach children's book analysis. So I read small books, right? So last year I just happened to read 120 books, but like this year I was like, I want to read like thicker books that are, like not that children's literature isn't legit literature because it definitely is. But I was like, I want to read like a more adult books and I want to try to see if I can read 50. Well, all of this shelf down here is what I've read so far this year. And then I had to start working up here. So I've made it all of these plus half of this shelf is all the books from this year just in my physical read pile. And then of course there's Kindle and audiobooks. So now I'm like, I want to make it to 100. And my husband was like, good luck with that. You're going to have to speed up because you only have like 2 months left and almost 20 books. So I was like, thanks, which is not what I need to be doing during Nano. So I read some of this today. Is that bad? I read some of this. This is an ARC that I got. I love Stephanie Plum series. And I was so excited to get this in paperback. So I read some of this. I read maybe 50 pages of this today. So I'm almost done with that, which makes me just want to finish it more, right? And then, of course, I read some of this as well because of Book Nerd University. And if you don't know what Book Nerd University is, it's my online book club. So like you can join from anywhere. And this is what we're reading for November. It's not the smallest book, which was, not the best decision on my part. Sorry. But it is a really great book, and I'm loving it so far. I'm about 50 pages in, and it is just amazing. So it already has turns in it that I wasn't expecting, so that's kind of cool. So yeah, so I'm reading that as well. If you do want to get signed up for Book Nerd University, if you want to enroll in that, you can do it on my Patreon page, and we meet once a month, the last Wednesday of every month. So of course, it's the last day of Nano this month. Yeah, it's on the 30th is our meeting. Again, not on purpose there. It's just the last Wednesday of every month at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. So we're gonna be doing that too. So yeah, there's a little bit on my plate because I also have to read for the classes that I teach. So that's exciting. So yeah, I have a lot going on. And yeah, so there's meetups every single weekday right now, and this is the one for today, right? We have this online. So we are going to get some writing done this evening, and I'm going to set a timer. So this is my timer. Okay. It probably looks like it says 12 to you, but it actually, see, 14, 15. Okay, so like it spins, and then I just push it, and the timer will start, and then it will start beeping when we're done. Okay. Love this thing. My husband got it for me, actually. Rotary countdown timer, in case you're wondering. It's a rotary countdown timer. So I'm going to set a timer for 15 minutes. If you want me to show you the prompt that I pulled for today, just let me pull that. So every day of Nano, I'm also pulling prompts in case you need a prompt to get you going. This was the prompt I pulled today, and I'm posting these on my TikTok as well, so you guys can see, and my Instagram, I think, and my Facebook page. So I'm just kind of like letting everybody get a prompt if they need one. But this is the one that I pulled today. Kind of funny. It's a teacher standing on the desk talking about the science of waves, and this guy there looking back. So if you need a prompt, there's that. So yeah. All right. Let's go ahead. I've got 15 minutes on the timer, and let's do a 15-minute sprint. All right, so everybody pull up your manuscripts or whatever it is that you're working on, because somebody asked specifically in the regional Nano message board today, somebody asked about whether or not like plotting or world building or something like that counted towards the word count, or if they worked on a different project, if that counted towards word count. And the answer is yes. Okay. Thank you, Otis. No, George. Yeah. So if anything that you're working on that is writing related, like not stuff that's like a text message, not something like an email that you're sending for work. Okay. If you are working on something that is writing related, that counts towards your word count goals. Okay. So like make sure that you're keeping track of all of that. Hello, Balmer. Thank you for joining us. So yeah, so I've got 15 minutes on timer. You guys ready? Pull up your manuscripts. We're going to get going. Get a sip of tea. Get your drink. Okay, here we go. Okay, there it is. Hey, Brittany. Just checking on the timer. We're good. About 3 minutes left. Scared the Jesus out of me. Okay, finish that sentence. Okay. All right. Ooh. Okay. So here's the other thing. Like you see me like go. So again, I'm typing on this. So when I have like the banner thing or whatever that I was typing on this keyboard when I needed to be typing on that keyboard. So that was interesting. Okay. All right, get your word count. If you have not updated your word count on the NaNoWriMo website yet today, do that now. Okay. I try to do it after like every sprint kind of thing, just to make sure that I don't forget, because otherwise I will. Okay. Hold on. I have to highlight it. Hold on. Hello, you guys. I'm so excited everybody's here. Like, seriously. I just posted in the NaNoWriMo region thing as well about all of the cool questions that you were getting. Because, man, like last year, like nobody used the NaNoWriMo bulletin board in our region or whatever. So it's been kind of cool that everybody has been over there as I go to that page instead of my profile to update my project. It's cool. That's kind of where my brain's at today. Okay. It's just not really there. I got 863 for that word sprint. So that worked. Yeah, how'd you guys do on the sprint? What was your word count? Not that that's like the end all be all here, but like still at the same time, it's cool when you have numbers that you can post, right? So, and if you did not know this, so one of the cool things when you go to the NaNoWriMo website and you are on your profile, right? And you see that project that you posted for Nano. If you want to see that that line graph, that plotted line graph that everybody's doing, what you want to do, right, is click on, so I'm going to go back to my profile so I can talk you through it. Okay, so you're going to see your projects listed. Click on where it says either the name of your project or the NaNoWriMo 2022 Write 50,000 Words. Then it's going to take you to your projects page, okay? You're going to click where it says the below that it's going to say NaNoWriMo 2022. That's where you're then going to be able to see your plotted graph for your project. All right, so you hear all the insanity in my office? That's my dogs. That's my puppy dogs. Okay, I have 4. The big guy, luckily, is sitting over here. His name is Hank. He is more than 100 pounds of absolute love. And then there are 3 smaller things that are fast. Okay, so yes, it is them that you hear in the background. I do apologize if that distracts you. So yeah. Okay, I have officially caught up to where I'm supposed to be right now. That is good. Oh, you can change it to bar graph or line graph. Well, that's kind of cool. I prefer the line graph personally. All right, so Bomber got 435 and working. Rubina got 338. Sweet. I'm so glad, you guys. Oh, man. Yeah, I like having that bar graph area for the Nano projects. I don't know. It's just nice having that kind of feedback. Is it just me? Is that weird? I don't know. I don't know. Get a sip of your beverage. Stay hydrated. Okay. Do not let yourself go to the absolute sideline during this month, right? And actually, I was going to mention to you guys because somebody mentioned the other day, because last night we had the live write-in at Buy the Book, right? So we're sitting there talking, and one of the Rymos mentions that she, was up late that first night, and she got writing in like right then, like as Nano started. And I was like, hey, that's amazing, that's great. But I was like, part of the reason I did not do a live write-in at midnight to kick off Nano, which I have done before, y'all. I have done it before. Part of the reason I didn't do that is because I want you guys to have healthy habits this month. I don't want y'all staying up super duper late trying to get word counts in, okay? Especially if you guys have work the next day or whatever. And Nano this year obviously started on like Tuesday or whatever. So I didn't want everybody to start off Nano with a lack of sleep, right? Because that's just, it's not good, right? And that is one thing I have learned in the years of doing Nano. If you have a major lesson that you have learned over the years of doing Nano, drop it in the comments. I want to see what it is, because that is my number one thing that I've noticed. Is to like set some healthy boundaries during November because it's difficult enough during the rest of the year, but when you're in the middle of trying to juggle like your normal day today, and then you add in like writing a book in 30 days, like it's a wee bit much. All right, so like try to make sure that you've got those healthy habits, and y'all know that I will give y'all a pep talk if you need it. All right, so Rubina has been trying Dabble this year instead of Scrivener. She said her favorite part of Dabble so far, it automatically updates your word count to Nano. That's cool. That is cool. Although my issue is because I'm a project jumper. So I don't just work on the project that you see listed on the Nano website. Like I'll actually be working on multiple things at a time. I know, bad funky. But that's what I do. And it's just the same way that I read. I read multiple things at a time. That's how I write too. I work on multiple projects. So I need to be able to like jump from project to project. And I don't know if like one program would be able to handle that, right? And I can kind of rearrange stuff. So, but I love the fact that it automatically updates that. Like that makes things a lot easier. So let's see. Yeah, Bomber agrees. Sleep is super important. What can go wrong? LOL. There are times, and if you have your characters do this, just know that I am paying attention to this. If your character ever says, "What could go wrong?" or "Oh, things are finally looking up," I immediately know that everything's about to turn for the worst, the absolute worst. And like, oh, there's no way it could get any worse. Hold my beer. Okay. Like it's always the precursor to like something absolutely falling apart. And I love it. I'm so here for it. The one line you should never have in your book, and I just found this in a book, you guys. Oh my God. I put a post note in it and everything. This is like the one line that all readers and writers know it. I let out a breath I didn't know I'd been holding. No. What book is this you have? It's V.E. Schwab's The Near Witch. I saw that in there and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. So that line, let's not include that line in your story. All right. Yeah. There are things like that that readers will pay attention to. So please, I mean, like that, I love that sentiment of, like releasing a breath that you didn't know you're holding because we know that there's anticipation there, but it is such an overused line. Y'all, there are reading book pages on Facebook that make fun of this line. And we screenshot it, we take pictures, and we post it on there, and we will let everybody know that you use that line. Don't do it. Although at the same time, I guess that there's no such thing as bad publicity. So, I mean, like, it's up to you. It's up to you. But if I'm editing your book, I am so highlighting that thing. I will let you know. Oh, God. Oh, no, you didn't. Like, take that out. It is, oh, that line. I released a breath I didn't know I was holding. Really? Really? Mm-mm. Rubina said, once in a book is bad. 3 times in one book is throwing the book against the wall worthy. What books that was it a romance? I mean, it's either a super suspenseful. My mouth isn't working. Either it's a super suspenseful thriller of some kind, or it's a romance. There's 2 options if you're going to use it 3 times. Yeah. It's just me. Is that kind of, I'm telling you, there are things like this. Maybe. I'm friends with you on Goodreads, If you want to see like how weird my reading is, like I'm on Goodreads, funky like feathers. I'm everywhere as funky like feathers, y'all. Like ask my stalker. You can stalk me anywhere you want. Always a romance, lol. Yes, like I'm telling you, some of these lines were just so funny. And it's interesting too, because as you're writing it, like and this, especially during sprints, like you're in the groove and everything's going so well, and you're like, oh yes, oh, it's amazing. And then you sit there to reread it and you're like, dear God, what did I write? But there's stuff like that, it's good to get it out as you write it. And, Maria and I have had these conversations with people so many times, is that we sometimes just need to write lines or scenes or whatever just to get it out of our heads because it's just there. And like for us, we need to write it, but does it need to be in the final copy of a manuscript, or does it need to be in that draft that we send to the editor? Like when you're doing your rereads, go ahead and tear it apart, because here's the best thing about a first draft, y'all. The very best thing, and you can quote me on this, the very best thing about a first draft is that nobody else is going to read it. Nobody. Nobody else is going to read your first draft besides you. When you go through and do the reread, you're already going to be doing some editing while you're doing that, right? And you're going to think that it's editing, but it's not. You're going to be doing, like you're going to extract things, you're going to take things out, you're going to reword, you're going to realize that you used the same word far too many times. You're going to see that you said that somebody held their breath that they didn't know they were holding. You're going to see these things and you're going to start pulling that and editing and, trying to figure out what the purpose of that scene was, right? So nobody else is going to see what you put into that first draft. Don't worry. There's no judgment on this draft, right? Like none. You are there to get the ideas out of your head. And that's the most important part. And this is kind of when we are talking about, planning and plotting your story and everything. Like, don't worry, nobody's ever going to see that. It's just for you, right? And just like when we do the brain dumps, trying to get ideas out of our head, and this is why I'm constantly saying, like, get something that works with your head, right? Whether it is the writing program that you're utilizing or stuff that goes into your codex or how you build characters. My kid came down the other day and she wanted to make a mood board for every character. And I was like, girl, go for it. Like, if that is you're going to be your process, then let it be your process. And I thought it was a great idea because that's kind of what I do, is like, that's essentially what you're doing when you build a character profile, right? Like, because you can see like what kind of clothes your character wears, what colors they wear. And I always do what their bedroom looks like. Like, that's my weird thing. I always have a bedroom profile for my character, right? So like, those are things that, yes, it's personal to you. And that's stuff that nobody else will look at. Unless you want to share it, nobody else is going to see it. And y'all, we're on a one-way video right now. I can't see what you're doing. Okay, like, you can write whatever you want in there. Nobody knows. All right. So if you want to write that goofy scene, or if you have your own fan fiction that you want to write, go for it. Write fan fiction about your own characters, because there's scenes that need to get out of your head. And somebody actually did this. There's an author who has done this. If you have read Fangirl, super fun book, by the way. I actually read the graphic novel, and it's fan fiction of her own characters. She wrote Carry On, that series. It's so fun. So like, her own characters from her own story, she wrote fan fiction, and it's called Fangirl. It's amazing. And she talks about the characters that are in her other book series. Genius. Okay, like, why not? Right? So yeah, I mean, like, have some fun with this. Okay, if you want to write fan fiction of your own characters, nobody's going to stop you. That's the fun thing about Nano. Okay, and one of the other things that, like, I think gets into people is, again, the whole, like, you have to work on just this one project. You don't have to work on only one project. You can work on whatever you want. So if you are working on a nonfiction, if you are working on writing a textbook, if you're working on a thesis about Disney princesses, nobody's going to stop you. Are we all good with that? Y'all understand that concept now? Cool. Because, like, move past the whole thing. Nobody cares what you're writing about. We just want to know that you're writing. Like, well done, right? That's it. Write your own stuff. Nobody cares, right? Why not? I think I could probably write a thesis about Disney princesses. I mean, don't tempt me. It is Nano, right? If I just need to get words on a page, like, watch this, right? Like, I think we all have that weird thing that we could write just thousands of words about. And maybe if you're at an absolute stopping point and you are just completely blocked and don't know what to write about, maybe you need to write about that weird thing, right? So like, what is your weird thing that you could write about, right? Like, I could, like, legitimately write about Disney princesses. And I think I could write about children's literature, about the need for children's literature. I think I could write about that. Like, random stuff, totally random. What it's like to be a homeschool parent, what it's like to have 11 pets. I could write a thesis on that. It's interesting, right? Like, it's a horse of a different color, y'all. Like, so think about it. Because it might be good to have those things in your back pocket if you get stuck, right? So that's also part of the reason that I'm posting, like, those daily prompts, is because if you're stuck in your project, or if you just don't know where to go with it, or you've got some random detail lacking, like, cool, I've got one for you. Like, again, this is 1 + 1 = tube is what it says in the wave. But it was just such a cool little thing I found. Y'all, I have some really weird prompts. All right, let's be honest. I got some weird stuff because it's just stuff that comes up in my world, right? Okay, yeah, Rubina says Lola chasing the squirrels. I mean, like, absolutely. That girl can run. All right, this dog is agile, right? So, I mean, like, Maybe write a story about what happens if she finally caught one. My dog caught a possum the other day. That was interesting. I mean, like, it's weird some of the things that happen. And so, like, why not? If you get to a sticking point, go with it, right? There is no reason that you shouldn't write about something if the mood strikes. And, like, literally, I think we've all gotten to those points sometimes too where we want to write, like we have like this itch to write, and it does kind of happen, like luckily right in time for Nano, usually for me. But like you get an itch, you want to write, but you just don't know what to write. There's something that a lot of people utilize, and it's called morning pages, and they find out about it from this thing called the Artist's Way. Um, I was a book buyer for Texas Art Supply long time ago. But that was one of our top selling items was the Artist Way. And it talks about morning pages. And you're just supposed to, as soon as you get up in the morning, like before you even leave the bed, you write 3 pages of just thoughts, just to get them out of your head and everything. And it's an interesting practice. And a lot of people do it. You're supposed to write by hand, I do believe. But it is an interesting practice to get into. And that's, again, just kind of the same thing as Nano, is getting this new practice to get into. So if you haven't been staying consistent with writing, which I have not at all, like be honest here, that these are things to jump into, right? And just to get you started. So, I mean, why not? Just go ahead and get that going. All right, I'm going to set 15 minutes on the timer again so that we can go ahead and do another quick sprint. 15 minutes usually feels about right. Right? So I've got 15 minutes on the clock. Again, I know this is backwards for you guys, but I promise it's 15 minutes. All right, so we're going to do 15-minute sprint again to just kind of get some words on the page. So get your spot. Everybody wake up your screens, okay? So ready, 15 minutes. Here we go. About 8.5 minutes left. Less than 5 minutes. All right. So our 15-minute sprint is over. How'd you guys do? Hello, hello. We have someone new. Love it. Welcome, welcome. We just finished another 15-minute sprint. So count up your words, update the Nano website if you need to, because you do get badges for updating your word count every single day. So I got 895 in that one. So let me go here. Ooh, there's also, if you didn't know this, at the very top of the page on the NaNoWriMo website, there's this little plus button and then a little clock. That plus button is a shortcut to go update your word count for the day, in case you were not aware. For a while, that was kind of interesting. We didn't quite know what that was until people started clicking on it. I don't know how long we're going to go for tonight. Caitlin, I'm lurking. Y'all can creep around. It's fine. It's fine. I don't know how long we're going. I'll probably do like one more sprint tonight. So maybe half an hour. So maybe till 7:30. Wednesdays, we're doing 6 o'clock because the whole reason I'm doing 6 o'clock on Wednesdays and not 7 o'clock like what I'm doing on Mondays is because that last Wednesday I have my book club meeting. That's literally the only reason. So I know that on the 30th, like that last ditch nano, that 1 hour that we have, that is all that I have. Because literally at 7 o'clock, it's the Book Nerd University meeting. So, yeah. Ooh, revising a script. Love it. See, there's so many cool projects people have. I'm telling you, if you think that you can only work on, just a manuscript for Nano, you're wrong. Wrong. You can work on anything. Anything. I love that. A script. Oh, so many cool things. I love how did anybody see the random comments that we got? There were 3 random comments. Don't worry, I blocked the user. But still, that was interesting because I didn't see it immediately. And then I clicked over and I was like, real quick deleted those. If you would like to find singles in your area, I'm sure you can do so on your own. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say on that. So, okay, so this is one of my other things. So obviously, like I mentioned, I have PCOS, so I'm supposed to be drinking spearmint tea twice a day. So I've got that. That's one of my nano needs. And then another one is chapstick. Never underrated chapstick, okay? Like, I don't know what it is. I just have to have chapstick. This is my favorite. Not sponsored. Hashtag. It's by Eco Lips. Mango kiss. Peppermint is my favorite because I don't know. It just feels nice, right? Is that weird? I don't know. But it's also because it's bigger. That's right, ladies. It has some girth. It's bigger around than regular chapstick. That's right. So that's why part of the reason I like it. I just like the size of it too. That's what she said. See, this is terrible. It's terrible. That's how you know it's late night. Because this is where our brains are going at this point. I ran off and did some sprints today at a coffee shop. Got the little aesthetic going with my cup of coffee and my iPad. And I forgot my codex. That was the best part. That was the best part. Yes, I'm full of better talk, Maria. Went out to go write on my manuscript today, and I forgot my codex. It was over there. But I have my iPad. And yeah, it's just, you can be the most prepared person on the planet, and then you forget something so simple. And it's like, what do you do? I don't know. So yeah, so I still went to the coffee shop, sat there, and I put in my loops. I have earplugs that I wear in public because sound, I'm very sensitive to sound. So put in my earplugs and had my hair down to like more muffle. And yeah, I wrote random stuff because I could, because I had the time, because I was there. So did I set timers? Yes, I did, with my watch. So I set timers on my watch. Sometimes I finished at the timer, and other times the timer would go off. I would click it, and then I would just write a couple more. So I think I actually got quite a bit of good writing done today. at the coffee shop. So that was good. It's very nice. And it's a coffee shop that I don't usually go to. So that was kind of nice too. So, and that's one thing I think is important. Ooh, you know what? We should do that in, okay, so there's a couple of posts that I need to make. I need to ask about coffee shops in the area, everybody to like suggest their favorite coffee shop so that we can go support all these different local coffee shops in the area. And then also last night at the meetup, we were talking about how, we had a writer who is trying to like research botany at this point, trying to cram some botany in because she's utilizing plants in her story to get messages and themes across. And so she was like, well, maybe I should find like somebody I can talk to. And I was like, that's actually a really good idea. We all have like random things that we either know a lot about or have experienced in life. And I think it would be great to like build a human library so that you have people to reach out to, because 6 degrees of separation, you guys, like no matter what it is that you need to know about, there's a person you can utilize as a reference. So I was like, ooh, we should get like a human library going and see what everybody can, offer as like a person that you can check out and ask questions to. So I was going to post that too. Making a list to remind myself I got my post-it note. All right, so I'll make sure to post about those things because I think it would be kind of fun. We all have random life experiences that I think would be super helpful to be able to share, especially if you're trying to write about a character who's going through something and you haven't been through it. Ask a person who has, and we can kind of help you, like make it feel more real or make it realistic, because just like when you see someone writing a character that they have no experience being, it can be interesting, right? Now, I think the classic idea on that is like men writing women. I think that's like the go-to. That is the go-to example. I'm not wrong. Where like a dude tries to write a woman and it just does not go well, right? And as women, we're all sitting there going, are you serious? And if you're on TikTok, have you found the woman who sits there with a spray bottle and she reads things that men have written about women either being turned on or just like being, and they say something and she's like, no. Oh man, I love her. She just always makes me laugh. It's amazing. And she's so fun, and she has the coolest glasses. Like seriously. And she has pecan pie, a book set kind of stuff coming out, and then she has pumpkin pie coming out. I'm so excited about that. And I can only assume that she's writing women well. And not saying that, we can somehow tell what the weather is, like the girl in Mean Girls. Because that's kind of how men write sometimes. It's funny. I'm not saying anything that we haven't done that, like as women, that we write men incorrectly. Because I'm sure that we have written some things that are diabolically inaccurate. And I can only imagine how funny they are too. So it goes both ways. All right. But yeah, like, it's just, we all have life experience. I think it'd be great to like be able to explain that. It's just like when you have a kid and they're starting to grow up and they're going through things and they're like, oh my God, like my kid and I and my husband, we all go to the gym every day. And my kid has figured out that, the type of sports bra you have matters, right? Because nothing like getting tangled up in that thing when it's sweaty and stuck, right? That's a fun experience. So she's going through some of those experiences and I'm having to explain. Absolutely, yes. Now, if you had to write that as a scene, how would you write it? It's like getting stuck in a spider web completely, which is hilarious. But that's why I think it's kind of fun, right? Especially like if you work in different kinds of industries, like we have life experience from working in that kind of an industry. So it's really cool to know behind the scenes kind of stuff. Like, oh, a friend of mine, she does collage art. And so she was trying to get like magazines, like old magazines donated. She's like, I don't really need, brand new stinking magazines, but I'm going to rip them up and use the pages. And I was like, oh, I know what you can do, because since I used to work a book department, like I can tell you, the old magazines, they just rip off the covers and send back the covers for money. But the body of the magazines, those get trashed. They can't even get recycled because of the glue that's used in it. So I was like, so they can't even recycle magazines. Just go make some connections and ask for their used magazines and they'll give them to you. It's one simple phone call. Super, super easy, right? But like, if you don't know that, and why would you know that? Why would you know that? Yeah. People seem, oh, there was something funny I saw the other day about all the copies of 50 Shades of Grey that were getting donated to different libraries, I think it was. And I even sent my friend a picture of the fact that they had built a like castle inside of a building of all the copies of 50 Shades of Grey that people had dropped off because they could not be recycled. And people were very confused about why it could not be recycled. It is the glue in the binding, if you did not know this. Books have glue in the binding, obviously, and it is not capable of being recycled. So unless you like cut that off and just donate the pages without that spine, they can't get recycled. Sorry. Now you know. The more you know. So yeah, there you go. Learn something new every day. You're welcome. So yeah, that was kind of fun. So I think it'd be great if we were able to all kind of like share, because humans have a lot of crazy history, right? We all have a lot of random information rattling around in our noggins. So let's share the wealth, right? All right, let's get one more sprint in. I'm going to set another timer for 15 minutes. I know it looks like 12. It is not. It is 15. Okay. All right. Ready, set, go. Last one. Last one. We got this.
about 9 minutes and 45 seconds. Yes, ma'am. 4.5 minutes. All right. All right. All right. How did you guys do? Did it go well? Are you happy with it? Let's see what my word count was. And don't forget to update the NaNoWriMo. What? Nano. Blah. Don't forget to update the NaNoWriMo website. Okay, got it out. All right. That one I got 862. It also asks for your mood, which I think is kind of funny. It's been there for years. I don't know why, but it tracks. And then it tells you, apparently I write the most in the evenings because, it's been 2 days. And last night there was a meetup in the evening. And then tonight we have the night meeting. So not too shabby. Okay. Checking my word counts all across over. Don't forget to back up your work. Back up your work. Aphrodite, I got a bit distracted, but I will get done before I go to bed. So great. Seriously, like, that's what I'm saying. Is that like sometimes I switch between projects or like, ooh, shiny, or hey, that needs to be cleaned. And I have to say that's one of the biggest things during Nano. I think that all of us do. And it's funny and ironic and terrible because I feel called out. But there's a bunch of like writing memes where they specifically talk about how if you want to get your house clean, just, decide that you're going to get some writing done. Because suddenly you start to look around and go, oh, I can take care of that real quick. And oh, I can't sit down and concentrate on what I'm writing. Let me just take care of that real quick. Or turn over the laundry or put the dishes away. And you're going to end up with a very clean house. But a very underdeveloped manuscript. So try to make sure you actually get your writing in. Speaking of which, so tomorrow, if you are local to the Conroe and Spring region, we have a meetup tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock at the MoCo Food Hall down in downtown Conroe. And then on Friday, we have the 6:30 p.m. meetup at IHOP. So we've got different meetups coming up. I'm really excited about it. And then this Saturday, I've got Critique Club at Buy the Book in the Woodlands Spring area. So that's going to be fun too, because if you've got writing that you want some feedback on or an editor to read for you, I will be there. So I'll be able to help you get some feedback on your project so that you can actually see kind of how the project's going, or if you need to tweak stuff, especially if it's a scene that you were really excited about or a scene that you're just not knowing what to do with, bring that in and I'll give you some feedback, right? So yeah, I'm going to try to also get more reading of this done. I'm really excited about this one. It's starting off well, like I said, because this is what we're reading for November for Book Nerd University. So again, you can sign up for that on my Patreon if you want. But if you still have stuff that you need to figure out for your story, over on my Patreon, there's tons of free writing resources that you can print out and utilize. So it's amazing. You can use them. So good night, Aphrodite. Thanks for joining us. Yes, have some fun food. You need food. Go drink water. That is hilarious. Thank you for the reminder. We are just finishing up for the evening. Actually, I'm going to get off here in a couple of minutes. I will be back on Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Every Monday in November, I will be here. And every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, I will be here as well. For online write-ins. Other than that, we've got tons of local events that are all in person kind of stuff. I'm trying to get you guys in person as much as possible because last year and the year before, that was not allowed. And actually, that was a really, really tough hit to take with not being able to do in-person meetups. That was really hard. I hope everybody is enjoying the fact that we're meeting in person again this year. I hope everybody has in-person meetups on those. Sweet. I look forward to seeing you on Monday. That'd be awesome. I would love to get some writing done with you. So yeah, we have a bunch of stuff coming up. There are tons and tons of events. And just like you saw God Drink Water come in here, like we have tons of people on YouTube who are doing live write-ins. So, and it's kind of like round the clock. There are even writing groups through Facebook and stuff where some people, there's actually a group called Never Ending Nano. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that one, but Never Ending Nano, and they just have nonstop stuff. So they have an event for all of November. And I think they even have like I guess a Discord or something, or even maybe an open Zoom room where people can come and go as they please, kind of thing, which is also really cool. So one of the biggest things this year is rebuilding that sense of community when it comes to writing, because yeah, it can be really difficult to be a writer and then feel like you have no community. So please make sure that you're reaching out to people. We all are here to help along the way. And that's part of the reason I want to get that human library going, is because I mean, again, more connection to people. You can talk to people. Like, let's see what everybody can help out with. So I'm so glad that you guys joined me this evening. This was a lot of fun. We got 3 different sprints in. That was 45 minutes of writing, you guys. You did 45 minutes worth of writing tonight. That is amazing. Like, well done. Like, seriously. And think about it. Every single word you had on that page now was not there when you started an hour and a half ago. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right. Make sure that you're drinking your water, just like Go Drink Water says. Make sure you're drinking your water. Stay hydrated. Make sure that you're working on your sleep. Get that healthy food in you, you guys. You need your vitamins, okay, so that you have a nice, good nano. I will see you guys soon. I'll be back on live Monday evening, like I said, at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and then again next week on Wednesday at 6 p.m. So I will see you guys soon. Have a great time. Happy Nano, everyone. Bye, you guys.